Gaming coming at y'all with another video, and in today's video we are going to do a Digimon deck profile. Yes, it's been about a week since I did one of these. Now that the new set is out, BT21, we finally have more Galactimon support, and this card is absolutely crazy. This set definitely gave us some support for the deck. And I do think that we are going to see a lot of different deck profile ratios come out for this deck, because there's a lot of different ways that you can play it. I'm one of those players who like to be able to do a little bit of everything, so my list is going to be a lot more split up into 2s and 3s counts of certain cards. And I just like having options. So in my deck profile here, you'll see I'm trying to have a lot of different options. This deck is going to be really strong. I do know that it is very hyped up right now, and it should be, because Galactimon is such a iconic Digimon bad guy in the show, and in the just anime lore in general. And then I think actually technically he's a good guy in the newest set, with Zenith being the champion and him being his partner Digimon. But I have not seen that yet, so I'm not absolutely sure. But let's go into these main guys. This is the Galactimon here. It is 14 play cost. You can Digivolve on top of level 5 black for 6. It is 14,000 DP, or you can Digivolve on a Snatchmon for a cost of 9. We do have ways to reduce this. And then it has a doozy of effect when Digivolving by placing 4 cards with Venmon their text from your trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution card. You may use one Ragnarok Cannon from your hand or trash without paying the cost. And we will get into what Ragnarok Cannon does. It is a busted card for sure. And then it has a start of your main phase, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So it is just a generic at the start of your main phase. You get to delete any Digimon your opponent has. This is a very versatile effect, not having to be, you know, cost or level or DP restricted. You just get to pick what you want to not be on the board. And it just says all turns when this Digimon will leave the battle area by returning 4 Venmon from its Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck. It doesn't leave. I am making this the main Galactimon mainly because I do like that start of the main phase to delete any other Digimon, and that being very versatile. And then it letting you play the Ragnarok Cannon from your trash or hand for free makes it super versatile too, because Ragnarok Cannon is going to be one of your easy win conditions in the deck. Before I get to the Ragnarok Cannon, I do want to touch on the Galactimon. This is the original secret rare from BT11. It is also a 6 Digivolution, play cost 14,000 DP. So a little unfortunate that he's not 15,000, neither is the other one. But this one is really interesting too, because when Digivolving you may place up to 4 Venmon from your trash under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution cards. Then if there are 8 or more Venmon in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. So you only get to delete the Digimon when Digivolving, so this one isn't a recurrence of being able to constantly delete something, but you do get to delete whatever you want, but it is only when Digivolving. And then it also has the all turns when this Digimon will leave the battle area by placing 4 Venmon from this Digimon's Digivolution cards at the bottom of their owner's deck. Prevent it from leaving, and you will get value when you have to put those sources at the bottom of your deck. And then this one just says start of your main phase, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So both of these Galactimons, you really don't want to swing with them. Like if you go into one early, you don't want to risk one of these dying into a crazy security effect. So you want them to just wall out your opponent and let this one trash security, let the other one pop the Digimon, and then just trying to wait until you get into your Ragnarok Cannon, so that way then you can go for game. You really only want to push for game when you're able to maybe poke down with other cards, but you really don't want to put these Galactimons in a position for them to get de-Digivolve, which is the main way that most people get rid of the Galactimon, because de-Digivolving is not removing the Digimon from the field. So if you're looking to go against this deck, this card, de-Digivolving these cards is the way to do it. Now, I brought up the Ragnarok Cannon a couple of times now, so let's get into what this card does. It has a use cost of 6. In security, you may play 1 card with Venmon in its text, and a play cost 6 or less from your hand or trash without paying the cost. Then add this card to your hand. So you get it to your hand, and you get a body on the board, which is going to have a good on-play effect, which is just super strong. Very versatile. I'm glad that you get a cool effect, as well as adding the card to your hand so you can use it later. And then it just says main, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost, then place this card in the battle area. And then it just says your turn when one of your Galactimon attacks, delay. Delete one of your opponent's Digimon with the lowest play cost. If this effect didn't delete, trash the top cards of your opponent's security stack so that it has 1 card left. Now, I know I've seen a lot of lists running this at a 4 of or a 3 of, but I think a 2 of this card, I know it is very, very important in the deck, but this card, it does have Venmon in the text, even though on the top part of the text it does not. It has Venmon right here in the security. This counts as text on the card. So that means that you are going to be able to add this card to your hand from all the different searching effects that let you grab stuff with Venmon in the text. So this card having the Venmon in the text right here is super, super important. So you're going to be able to see this card whenever you need it, and you're not trying to use it too early in the game. Anyways, going on with our other option card before we get back into the Digimon, just 2 of the Fusion Eyes. I know that this used to be a card a lot of people play it for, but I think now we have so many good Digimon that this Fusion Eyes does come in clutch, yes, but we don't need to always see this card. It just says when you would use this card if you have a Snatch want to play, reduce the cost by 1 so it ends up being free, and then main by placing 1 Venmon or Destromon from your trash under one of your Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. You may Digivolve 1 of your Digimon into 1 Destromon or Galactimon from your trash for its Digivolution cost. So whenever you're trashing cards in this deck, you're going to have some sources in the graveyard, and then you're going to be able to then use this card to Digivolve from your graveyard. So your graveyard ends up being another part of your hand essentially, and then it is in security. You may reveal the top 2 cards of your deck, play 1 Venmon among them without paying the rest, then trash the rest. Before we get into all the Digimon, I really do want to touch on all the options and the tamers, because I do think that these, along with your level 6s, kind of show you what the deck wants to do, and then everything else kind of supplements these things. So we are just running 1 of the Black Scramble. You only want to see 1 of these, so that way if your board does get cleared some way, then you can put a Digimon on the board, so that way you can put out another Galactimon, and it is just awesome being able to reduce your Digivolution costs. 2 of the Black Man Boost, because you do want to see pieces in this deck, and you do need consistency, and you don't want your opponent to trap you down on a memory. So the Black Memory Boost does help out a lot for sure. 2 of the trainings, once again, just for consistency issues. That way you can be consistent finding things, and then, you know, not having to miss on any card in the deck, because this lets you grab any black card. So this one doesn't miss at all, whereas the Black Memory Boost won't let you grab the tamers. This will, and then also reduce your Digivolution costs. We are going to do a 3-2 split of the tamers. Now, this is the new Zenith from the BT21. He is a liberator, and it says it's a 4 play cost memory setter, right? So start of your turn, you go to 3, and then also on play, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Among them, play 1 Venmon without paying the cost, or add 1 card with Venmon in its text to the hand, trash the rest. This card is so amazing in the deck. I did think that initially when it came out that you should probably run this at a 3 or 4 of, but you do also want the other one. This one only being on play is, you know, maybe makes it where you don't want to play it as much as the other one, whereas the other one every turn you can, you know, recur some value, but this one is absolutely amazing. I know I'm only running it at a 2 of. Maybe you could try to find some space to put it at a 3 of because the on play is so strong, but we do want to play 3 of the old Zenith for BT18. This guy is absolutely amazing. It does suck that he costs 4 to play. He is a liberator, and he says, start of your main phase by trashing 1 Venmon in your hand, draw 1, and gain 1 memory. Your turn when any of your Digimon attacks by suspending this tamer and returning 2 Venmon from those Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck. De-Digivolve 1 of your opponent's Digimon. This is really, really strong. You get to control the board when you do swing in, and then you get to de-Digivolve something, maybe stopping their ace plays along with those shenanigans, and it just lets you draw a card, gain a memory, which is just so absolutely good. And you're fueling your sideline. This is the key one that you definitely need to see if you want your plays to pop off. And then just being able to return the Venmons to de-Digivolve is so strong. De-Digivolve is an amazing mechanic in the Digimon trading card game. I do want to go backwards now from here on. We'll touch on the 5s. The main Destromon, I do think, is the newest Destromon for BT21. I'm running this one at a 3 of. The other 2, I'm running at a 2-2 split. I do think that this one is the more important one because of the inheritable. Opponent's turn once per turn when one of your opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 2 Venmon from this Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck. You end that attack. It is a really, really important effect that you want. The other ones do also have shenanigans where you can do that, but this one is a little bit better because it just ends the attack, whereas the other Destromons make you switch the attack to Galactimon, and then other cards say like attack targets can't be switched and shenanigans like that. This one is just a power creep of that inheritable being able to end the attack, so you're not having to deal with any effects that got going on. At my current knowledge, this is the best way to get over when attacking effects, and I'm glad that they have changed this to be this way as opposed to changing the attack target. It ends the attack outright, so then they're not able to get anything crazy. But he does also have value on the board. He does Digivolve for 6 on a Venmon or 5 on your level 4 Snatchmons in the deck. And then when Digivolve until your opponent's turn ends, their effects can't trash this Digimon stack cards. Then to one of your opponent's Digimon Digivolve 1 for every 2 Venmon in this Digimon's Digivolution card. So this is your pseudo protection. You need your sources to stay on your Digimon. Now they can still blow this guy up and do crazy things like that, but they will not get rid of your sources. This guy says they can't do that, and you need to protect your sources at all costs. If you're moving up and you're not able to go into the Galactimon, it really hurts if your opponent's able to strip your sources, because then when you go to Galactimon, you won't have any ways to keep it active or protected. And then all turns when this Digimon will leave the battle area, you may play 1 Venmon from its Digivolution cards without paying the cost. So good value here. If they do decide to destroy it, you'll get a Venmon out and hopefully, you know, get some good on-play effects. We are running 2 of the promo. Now, I know that this is a little bit of a pricey card at the moment, but I promise you, you don't need to run 4 of this card. I think that you could be just fine without playing 4, and in my list, I'm not running 4 of this card, even though I do own 3. I will only be using 4. This one is really good. It is 10,000 DP. It costs 10 to hard play. It Digivolves for 5 on your Snatchmons. And it just says, on play, when Digivolving, choose any number of your opponent's Digimon or Tamers so that their play cost total is up to 3 and delete them. For each Venmon in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, add 1 to the maximum play cost. Total this effect can choose. So this is the way that you delete Digimon or Tamers. This one is a little versatile, letting you do that. But one thing to note on this one, since this one is so versatile, it doesn't have the versatility from being able to Digivolve on the Venmon, which is a little unfortunate here. But it does have a Digi-Crossing. You can Digi-Cross this one with Snatchmon and 4 Venmons, which is really, really strong being able to minus this. You could hard play it for 5. Those plays do feel really, really good. And then you get the on-play effect to pop a Digimon or Tamer. And you're going to have the 5 sources, so you're going to be able to pop a lot of stuff. And then he just has the opponent's turn once return when an opponent's Digimon attacks by returning 2 Venmon from one of your Galactimon's Digivolution cards to the bottom of the deck. Switch the attack target to this Digimon. So like I said, this one does switch the attack target, which makes it a little bit harder to make sure that that attack hits you or it goes into your Digimon. You would rather just do the, like, end the attack, right? But this one is versatile. You do want to see this one in some cases, so running it at a 2 of. And then just 2 of the original Destromon from BT11. This one is the same thing. Cost you 5 to Digivolve, 10 play cost, 10,000 DP. It can Digivolve on top of a Venmon for 6, which is really, really important. When Digivolving, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Place 1 Venmon among them under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution card. Trash the rest. Then, if there are 5 or more Venmon in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Tamers. So this one does delete Tamers. This one is a little bit harder to, you know, get off always. You're not always wanting to go into this one, but we do want to get that effect that lets us reveal the top 3. Place 1 Venmon and then trash the rest. This is the one you technically really want to go into first, so that way you can fuel your graveyard a little bit better. And this one lets you fuel. So this one, I think maybe the play effects are not as good as the other 2, but this one is better to see early, so you can fuel your graveyard. And then it has the same inheritable opponent's turn once per turn when an opponent's Digimon attacks by placing 2 Venmon from one of your Galactimon's Digivolution cards at the bottom of their owner's deck. You can switch the attack target to this Digimon. So it just makes it where you get to make your opponent crash into your big body Galactimons. Now, on these Snatchmons, I am running 3 each of the Snatchmons. Like I said, I want to be able to do a little bit of everything in my decks, and I think a 3-3 split of all the Snatchmons is a cool way to go. So going from the newest to oldest, this is the Snatchmon for BT21. It Digivolves for 3, 6 play cost, 6,000 DP. It has the inheritable all turns once return. When any Venmon are returned to the bottom of the deck from this Digimon's Digivolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with play cost 4 or less. So you can, you know, once you get into your big guys, use their effects at trash cards, and then be able to pop a 4 or less, which is really, really good. And then this one's also really good because it has on play and when digivolving, so if you do play the Snatchmon off the effect of the card earlier that we mentioned, you get to reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Venmon and its text and among them to your hand, trash the rest, then you may place up to 2 Venmon from your trash as one of your Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. This is really good because sometimes you may find yourself in a situation to hard play this guy just to get more sources underneath your Galactimons, and that is a play that you need to look out for and try to do because you really want to keep the sources on the Galactimon, and this Snatchmon lets you do that, being able to put the sources on any Digimon, whereas all the other ones aren't really as versatile as this guy is. It's really, really strong though. 3 of that one. The BT21 that lets you Digi-cross, same stat line, 636. And then it says, it's inheritable. All turns once a turn when any Venmon are returned to the bottom of the deck from this Digimon's Digivolution cards. This Digimon unsuspends against blocker until the end of your opponent's turn, which is really good, right? Because this lets you be able to swing in to your opponent with your Galactimons if you really want to. And then when they go to swing, you can trash the sources. This Digimon unsuspends and now you get blocker, which is really, really good. And then this card also says, while you have no Digimon other than Venmon cards in your trash, can also be placed while you have no Digimon other than Venmon. Cards in your trash can also be placed for this card's Digi-crossing. Just meaning that while you do this, you can, you know, use the Venmons in the trash, and this doesn't have to be from the field or your hand, which is really versatile. Being able to play this guy out cheaper is really good. Unfortunately, though, his effect is not on play or when Digivolving. It is just when Digivolving, you may place up to 2 Venmon from your trash as this Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. End of your turn, this Digimon has 4 more Digivolution cards. It may Digivolve into a Digimon card with Venmon and its text in the hand. This is going to be your main way that you warp in. You Digivolve into this guy for 3, and then at the end of the turn, since you're passing turn over, use his effect to then let you warp Digivolve into the Galactimon if you need to for the 9 cost, or you can go into any of your Destromons if you need to. But this one is very versatile, letting you be able to do that play, and you really want to save this one in your hand for those turns where you are not able to continue your turn and you need to just get into a Galactimon to pass the turn. This guy will let you do that for sure. And then just 3 of the original one. It has the all turns once return inheritable when Venmon is placed from this Digimon Digimon cards at the bottom of the owner's deck. Unsuspend this Digimon and it gains blocker till the end of your opponent's turn, which is really strong. The same thing, 366 stat line. When Digivolving, you may place up to 2 Venmon from your trash under this Digimon as its bottom Digivolution cards. Then, if there are 4 or more Venmon in this Digimon's Digivolution cards, return 1 Fusionized from your trash to your hand. So now we have a way to get the Fusionized back, and then lets us be able to get more sources and Digivolve for cheaper. This one is really versatile. You do want to play this one whenever you finally do have the Fusionized, and you can see here we have ways to recycle the Fusionized, and we have ways to recycle the Ragnarok Cannon. So I think that that's why we can get away with only playing 2 of them, because we only need to play 1 and we have ways to get them back. Going on to the Venmons, I'll touch on the original Venmon at the most. This is when you can keep up to 50 copies in your deck, and I know that this seems like a lower total for the Venmons, but we do have a lot more consistent ways to get these Venmons in our trash. We've got a lot of effects that are going to put them back to the bottom, and then we want to be able to put them in our trash again. I don't think you need to run quite as many Venmons. I could be wrong on this, but in my testing, it hasn't been that much of an issue. As long as you have 4 Venmons, you're looking at a good spot. If you do want to bump this up, I would recommend, you know, just taking this Destromon down to 2, running a 2-2 split, and then going down on 1 Galactimon, and then that gives you room for 2 more. That way you can be at that 16 that a lot of people have in their deck. This one, as you can tell, I'm only at 14, but that is the move I would recommend. The Destromon down, the Galactimon down, and then just add 2 more of this Venmon. But I'm only running the 6 here. Your turn. Once per turn, when this Digimon would Digivolve into Destromon or Galactimon, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. These do stack, which is really, really good. And then it is, you know, main by suspending this Digimon, reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add up to 1 Snatchmon, Destromon, Galactimon, or Fusionize among them to your hand, and place 1 Venmon among them under this Digimon's as its bottom Digivolution cards. Place the rest in the bottom of your deck in any order. I do wish this one trash, but that is what it is. It is still one you have to run because it's the one you can run the most of. Going to the BT18, we are obviously running 4 of this one. It is so good. This is the one with the inheritable. Your turn once per turn with this Digimon with Digivolve to a Digimon card with Venmon in its text. Reduce the Digivolution by 1, so then you get to reduce even further if you put this one in. So you got a lot of ways to reduce your Digivolution. This one is so good because of the on-play reveal the top 3 cards of your deck. Among them, add 1 card with Venmon in its text. Venmon in the text being the very specific, awesome thing that lets you grab just about everything in the deck. And place 1 Venmon as any of your Digimon's bottom Digivolution cards. Return the rest to the bottom of the deck. So this one is really, really good because you get double of these, right? You get to add a card and then place 1 Venmon from those 3 cards. This one's really good too because you can hard play this one a lot of times and then use its effect to put sources back under your Galactimon, which is exactly what you want to do, so that way you can keep using your Galactimon's effect to recycle those sources back into your deck. And then we are going to run 4 of the newest Venmon. This one is your turn once per turn. When this Digimon would Digivolve into a Digivolve card with Venmon its text, reduce the cost by 1. So you see here, all the Venmon inheritables are just reducing your Digivolution cards big time. Like, you get a lot of these stacked up and you're going to be sitting in a good spot. One thing to note about this Venmon and the other one, this one will let you reduce your Snatchmon Digivolutions, whereas this one will not let you do that because it has to be a Destro or Galactimon, and these two just say Venmon in the text. So then if you do have a Venmon with sources and you Digivolve into a Snatchmon, these two will let you reduce the cost, where this one will not let you do that. But this Venmon does have a great on-play by trashing 1 card with Venmon its text from your hand. You may return 1 non-Digi-Egg card with Venmon its text from your trash to your hand. It is a switch of a card. You do have to trash a card from your hand, but then you get to grab any card in the deck that you are missing. So it is very versatile, really, really good. Like I said, the only cards you can't grab are going to be these option cards here. All the other cards do have the Venmon in the text, which is really good for you to be able to grab them all. I do think that for the eggs, I just need to run 4 of the Sunimon, but with so many rookies in the deck, I think that sometimes you will find yourself Digivolving and wishing you had that 5th egg. The Sunimon is obviously amazing because it says this Digimon with 4 more Venmon Digivolution cards get 3,000 DP, which is so strong because once that happens, now our Galactimons are 17,000, and it helps us get over everything you want. And then just 1 of the Pagumon, because sometimes you do just want to Digivolve into a Venmon and then swing it out to get this on deletion, reveal the top card of your deck, add it to your hand if it's a black Digimon card, otherwise place it at the bottom of the deck. So that is the deck profile for this deck. I want to try and get some playtesting of this deck done on the Digimon app, so that way you guys can see me playing with it. It is really, really cool. I am super excited to finally have a decent Galactimon deck. I have not played my Galactimon deck in a long time because even with the promos, it really felt like it was just not a modern Digimon deck and really missing out on some effects and consistency. And now I think that you can toolbox this deck to kind of be whatever which way you want to do it. I don't think that there's a wrong way to build this deck. I think you can run any amounts of all these different cards. And now that you have so many different types and Snatchmons and the Venmons and the Destromons and options and tamers, you can really customize this deck any way you see fit. This is going to be my deck profile for it. This is going to be how I'm running the deck. I will try to get some gameplay videos out for you guys. But please let me know what y'all think about the deck profile. What do you think about Galactimon? Is he going to be OP or is he just going to be another no-show? Is the hype real or not? Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to leave this video a like. Please subscribe to the channel. I appreciate everyone hanging out with me today. Peace.